Hey, what's going on? Happy Thursday. And today we are going to do something a little bit different. I've kind of been paying attention to the Trophy Wife saga. It has now reached YouTube in rare form, but it is all over TikTok. And while I don't really get too caught up in TikTok news and drama, I'm starting to see how the worlds are colliding, and people I think are able to respond in a way that's meaningful. And so I do believe that people enjoy honest discussions on TikTok. On YouTube, it feels more presentational. So that's why you have a lot of folks just like kind of weighing in. And I think it's fun. I think it's fun to see people share their opinions. The drama is not fun, but just seeing other people's perspective is always good. It's how social media was meant to be. That being said, this is a collection of videos from the trophy wife, aka Isis, her husband's niece. So her husband's niece has decided to defend her uncle, and at least share some more insight that we're not receiving from Isis. The reason I'm sharing this is because I've been listening to the videos and there are some things that aren't making sense. Am I paying attention? Like, am I on every single video? Like, absolutely not. But what there's some basic things that I'm concerned about and curious about. And the main thing was like, why isn't he locked up? It seemed very immediate. It seemed the way she told the story was bath time, noticed an issue, asked the child. The child said something. She moved out immediately. That's the way that I interpreted it. If you guys got a different feel, if I'm missing something, let me know. But that's the information that I have. And then I saw the GoFundMe. I saw this is where we are right now. We're needing this, we're needing that, the fallout, the embarrassment, the Sheer 7 stuff, which was like definitely a diversion. But I'm just like, is he under the jail yet? Like, what? So to me, it seemed more like a smear campaign or a campaign of sorts in general. When people are fighting, their campaigns. I'll just say that. Divorce, breakup, immediately everyone is going to get on both sides. You're going to fight against each other. You're going to try to defame each other. So I get that. I've been through really bad breakups and divorces and things of that nature. So I understand, especially with a messy individual, and I don't know who's messy in this case, it could get quite daunting. But one thing I know about a person that has a following online who doesn't waste time to harness the power of your audience, the narcissists that I know in my family that have a really large following, they love to get their audience involved. So that's a little antenna that went up in my head. But I do have Miss Lady's videos. So I'm gonna go ahead and play them for you.
For you smart ladies out there who sat up there and thought to yourselves, oh, this cannot be true. This can't be, you know, something that, oh,
I think I have this. Let me just check and see if I got the right one. Here I go doing all that talking. And let's just make sure we have, yeah, because she introduces herself. Here we go. As you can see, she gets a little defensive.
hello, everyone. My name is Dee, and I am the niece of the trophy wife's husband. Now, I know you know who the trophy wife is because she's been going up and down my timeline for the last couple of days. Her name is Isis, or Paloma, which is her real name. Um, this lady is completely insane. Let's just start from there. Um, Background story. Her and my uncle got together really quick. From what I've been seeing and what I've been told, she thought that she was getting a come up with my uncle. But then when things didn't go her way and she pretty much seen that she could no longer hide the things that she was doing behind closed doors, she ended up trying to find a different route, which was to come on here and lie to you all and tell you that her daughter had been touched by her dad, which that is not the case. Her daughter had been touched by her son, and she didn't want anybody to know because she wanted to try to make it seem like my uncle was the bad guy because she wasn't getting what she wanted in the divorce.
Okay, we're going to move on to part two. There are 5 parts. There's actually 6, but the first 5 I think are sufficient. Wow, right? So when I heard that, I was like, wait a minute, I have so many questions. And I wasn't the only one because tons of people started asking her questions. And unfortunately, she got overwhelmed and she gets defensive. Just try to wade through that just to get to the heart of what she's saying. But she just wasn't ready for us.
For you smart ladies out there who sat up there and thought to yourselves, oh, this cannot be true. This can't be, you know, something that a woman would allow, which it's not. It's not something that a woman would allow. I am a victim of sexual assault or rape or whatever you want to call it. Um, and I don't appreciate one bit of the accusations being put out there, especially not just because they're fake, not just because that they're out there just for clout, but because of the fact that this involves a family member of mine who I care about dearly. Met multiple family members, if you want to put that out there, because the kids are my family too. The boys are somebody else's. The girls and the last baby are a part of my family. And if they're being harmed in any kind of way, I definitely would want to stand up for them, for sure. But her son is the one that the baby first initially said that was touching her. My grandmother was changing the baby one day and she seen that it was red down there and she said that her brother did it. Now, when they went to court, the court did not believe what she was saying because Paloma had already or ISIS had already put out a case against my uncle because my uncle was furious when he found out that her oldest son was touching the girls. So he went out and tried to, seek help to figure out what he should do about getting her son away from the girls so that they would no longer have to go through this. But as soon as he did that, ISIS went and took papers out on him claiming that he did it because she didn't want her son to go down for it. On top of all of this, she's sitting over here acting like she's the best parent in the world when if y'all go look for yourself, y'all will see that she has a child abuse case of her own. Her youngest son was
Yeah. Going to queue up the third video. She is alleging that she has been abusive to her own children as well. It's it's kind of messy. Let's see. Let's get to the third video.
uncle that he abused her youngest son, which loves my uncle to death. But the day that her and her ex tried to put out there that my uncle had abused her son, he wasn't in the state. He wasn't nowhere near. So once they went to the hospital and they took the little boy to the hospital, the one thing that they didn't do this time is the social workers pulled him aside and started asking him questions and asked him, who hurt you? Come to find out, the little boy told and said that it was her. Not only that, her oldest son has sent my uncle threatening messages. He has rubbed poop on the walls at multiple family members' house, including theirs. He has pushed his younger brother down the stairs to the point where he had a concussion, and she didn't want to take him to the hospital because she didn't want them to know that she had, a son that had been abusing on her other kids. And then not only that, he hasn't just touched the two girls, he's touched all three of the kids. He's touched his little brother, he's touched his 4-year-old sister, and he's touched his 2-year-old sister. But all of this will come out eventually. My uncle cannot say anything right now because the case is still open. But my thing is, you're sitting over here saying that he did all of this stuff, but if he did, the police themselves said that he would be in jail. They would have took him to jail as soon as the hospital said, "Oh my gosh, the baby's been touched." He would have been in booking right away. He wouldn't be out right now working. He wouldn't be out right now being bothered with all of this extra stuff that you're putting on him because of the fact that you want money. Like, what mother uses this platform to sit up there and say, "My babies have been raped," or "My babies have been touched," excuse me, and then sit over there and then try to put a GoFundMe page up? Do you know why she's putting that GoFundMe page up? Because my uncle has had enough. He's not giving you any money. He's not sitting over there playing into your little schemes where she sits over there and tries to have her kid's father call his phone to get him to talk to the kids so that she can say he's in breach of a restraining order.
I know she's a horrible storyteller. It's okay. But this is the first that we've heard of a restraining order on this side. My thoughts are it's a temporary restraining order. I don't know anything legally about the case, but the thought is it's temporary. But if it isn't, that means that there may be a reason that they did grant it towards her, and that might help her in her favor.
Like, there's so much proof behind all of this stuff that you all do not realize that is going to come down on her head. But yet you all are sitting over here believing her sob story, not doing your research, and paying her money. This girl has up to $2,000 already on GoFundMe. Probably more now because I haven't even checked this morning. But it's crazy how y'all will go for a black man or go for any man off of what a woman says, like women don't lie every day to get ahead. I am a strong advocate for black women, for women in general, for people in general. But men, I feel like we need to just slow down a little bit. And
I have so many things to say, but I want you to see the fourth video, and then there's there's another one, but we'll do a break before the other one. Let's do four.
always think that they're the bad guys because it goes both ways. And I am a mother of a black little boy. So for me, I can understand why she would want to cover up for her son, but at the same time, me personally, if my son is doing anything like that and I have other kids, I want to get him the best help possible away from his siblings until he is confirmed better. And I know he's no longer a threat to the other kids in the house, because you can't just sit over there and single out one kid and be like, "Oh, I'm going to protect this one, but whatever happens to the other ones just happens." That's not okay. And then you want to sit over here and portray to these women out here that, "Oh, it's okay to be a trophy wife. Just go for that rich man type deal." No, how about go get your own money? How about stop sitting over? Stop. Please, ladies, please stop waiting on a man to fulfill your life financially, spiritually, emotionally, all this other extra stuff, and find your own way. Do that. Because when you find your own way and you know your self-worth and you know what you are capable of and what you will tolerate and what you won't tolerate, then the good man will come find you. But until you know your self-worth, you're just going to keep picking up anything off the street and being like, oh, okay, he got a little bit of money in his
So who is she advocating for at this point? Her, for this girl or for her uncle? I think she's confused.
pocket, so he going to treat me right. No. Because what the one thing that you don't realize is that man that has that money, he's also got a little brain in his head too. So he also is already aware of these women that's coming out here to do these things to him or to try to trap him in these ways just for money or attention or the clout or whatever. Like, come on. We are in 2024, about to be 2025. Why are we still doing these same little tricks? Somebody needs to be teaching y'all how to make your own money, how to get your own way. So then that way, when you do find that good man with a lot of money, then y'all can build together instead of sitting over there waiting for him
I think she watches all of her videos, and this is her opportunity to become an influencer as well.
to give you an allowance or whatever your little stipend for the month. Be real. Just want to let y'all know, for the crusties and the dusties, please be mindful of what you put out here on the internet because you could be getting a lawsuit coming to your doorstep for you putting out accusations of stuff that you have no idea about. Everything that I'm telling you right now on this computer screen or on this platform, I'm letting you know that this is the truth. This woman is no records that she has been that little girl has been touched by my uncle. No record.
Okay, there's one more video in a bonus. I'm just gonna do this last one, and I know that's a lot. Uh, Let me see. I'm testing out new software today, and so let's share a screen. Let's put it inside of this one. Real fast, real fast, real fast. Thank you for your patience. This heifer right here talking all that noise. Let's go right back. Trophy wife, husband. And let's play. You guys don't hear that. And you know what I didn't do? But don't worry. Don't worry. I got you. I'm going to download it really fast. So while we're downloading, we're going to talk about it. So it's clear that she has multiple campaigns running here. She started off out of the good of her heart to represent for her uncle. And I think that's cool. She says that she doesn't have his permission to do so. So I think that it's going to, here it is. It's going to bite her in the butt because she probably wasn't the best person to make a family announcement, if you will, right? It's also clear that she was not a fan of Paloma, and she has critiqued her whole shtick, which is why she's imparting her own opinion of how Paloma, or I'm not going to call her ISIS because I don't know her like that, uh, of what she's spewing to the masses. That's what that is about. And we are on.
But it is a record that she had a diaper rash. It is a record that she has child abuse charges against her. It is record that her son has sent my uncle threatening messages. It is a record that she's not telling the whole truth on this platform, what she said in the courtroom.
So she's responding to the hundreds of us that are in her comments saying, great, share the record, share the record, share the record. When she's specifying, we went to court, there was this investigation, this visit right here. Very easy for, what's her name? Deerica. Very easy for Deerica or D to say, hey guys, I can't show you this whole thing, but on this particular date, this, on this particular date, that. Now, again, she did say she didn't have permission, but that's why you have a conversation with someone like, hey, perhaps maybe we should say something in response, right? In the court of public opinion, because honestly, right now, we don't know if there are any laws being violated outside of this restraining order, which you can get a restraining order temporarily from anyone for at least 2 weeks. We don't know if what the restraining order that she has is permanent or not. And if it is permanent, then there would be good reason for it. And then some sort of thing like abuse or something of that nature would be the reason. And then, that would be a good thing for ISIS to share and say, listen, I do have record of abuse. I was granted a restraining order and he can't see the children. I don't know if she's done that already, but my thoughts are it's just a temporary one. And right now they're waiting to see if everything passes the litmus test. But I do believe that this lady is putting the cart before the horse, and it's for people who are looking for a narrative, it's very easy to get lost in the sauce.
The courtroom that she had my nieces sitting in looking at the wall the whole entire time so that they wouldn't get emotional looking at my uncle because they love their daddy. And now he has to suffer without seeing his kids because of the fact that this woman wants to lie and slander his name because she did not get what she wanted in the divorce. The divorce that she did not put out there, by the way. Because me personally, if anybody had did anything to my kid, oh, baby, I'm going down there first thing and divorcing this person. I'm not about to sit over there and wait. If anybody rapes me or takes my goods without me and my knowledge or without me saying yes, oh, baby, I'm not about to stay married to somebody like that. That's crazy. But for you to sit over there and say that he's done all these terrible things to you, and yet it took him to divorce you and not you to divorce him, open your eyes, ladies. Stop being stupid. Because this girl is full of lies. Full of lies. Everything y'all heard. First off, let me ask you. Let me get this. Look, who wipes their eyes all the way up here like this when you're crying? Huh? Who does that? Nobody. If I'm wiping my face, I'm wiping all down here because I'm a sloppy crier. And I'm pretty sure most of y'all are too. I don't know why y'all sitting over there trying to act like them housewives doing all that little. No, no.
They do that because they don't want their makeup to run.
Let them tears drop if you real. Because if I'm talking about my baby and something like that happen, oh, I don't care if it's ugly cry or not. I'm gonna have snot and everything coming down my face. But this girl could barely even look at the camera the entire time she was talking on this video. I have no reason to lie to y'all. But I want to let y'all know that the disrespect with my uncle, it has to stop. Because this man has done nothing. And the reason why you don't hear him saying anything is because he knows that this is an open case. And when you have an open case, just like we see on The Housewives with Karen Huger and anybody else that goes through a case, you cannot talk about it until the case is over. So ISIS, this is my message to you. I hope to God that you got your ducks in a row. I hope you hired a new lawyer after the last lawyer sat up there and took herself away from your case because she seen that it was no case. So I hope you hired a really good lawyer, or I hope these people give you enough money to where you can get you a good lawyer. Because, baby, you going under the jail.
Under
And
the
I hope these
jail.
people crucify you for all the lies that you have got on here and told. You are not a good person. You are not a good mother.
Deerica.
You only And even right now, you're still out there looking for the next victim. You're out here looking for the next victim, and that's so like I'm laughing because that's so fucking sad.
Deerica is obsessed. Let's be clear. She may be the person to send this message because she don't care about that girl at all, but she ain't liked her since she showed up on the scene. It's clear.
But you need not come for me and mine. You need to know that because this man does not deserve it, and I know some that do, but he doesn't. So for all of you out there that had the good mind of thinking that she was a liar and that uh she was just putting on to get sympathy points, yes, she is. And I'm sorry that the rest of you fell for the okey doke and you have egg on your face right now. Because that's what you get for listening to.
She's so salty. Like it's hard to, like I said, you have to like look past all the assaults on people's characters, intelligence. Like she is a menace. Like just give people a chance to breathe. If what you're saying is true and people are being fooled, then just relax. We get it. We know you don't like her. It's okay.
Stupid stuff on Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok. You're listening to that stuff and you don't even know the whole story.
Because it's entertainment. Deerica, we don't know her like you do.
You don't even care to find out the whole story. You're just going to condemn a person, say that you wish them dead, that they should be under the jail, and all this other extra stuff, when the justice system doesn't even feel that way because they don't have any evidence that he did anything. So please, next topic, next subject. I better not see no more.
What? What you
I
gonna
better
do?
not see no more. Because when he come out, baby, all y'all that's out there right now talking junk are going to be so sick because this girl is sick. Her and her son. I'm sorry to say it because I don't want to talk about nobody else's kid. But if it's the truth, it's the truth. So they're going to get theirs. Don't worry. They're going to get theirs and they're going to get the help that they need, hopefully. And I hope all y'all out there that's sitting over there calling my uncle all kinds of names, saying that he needs to die and all this other extra stuff, I hope y'all are the ones that help her get the help. Because y'all need it right along with her.
Okay.
Have a nice day.
You too, baby.
Signing off.
Bye. Okay. So you gotta love Deerica. Deerica's actually a character. And I was writing in the comments. So like that last video came, I think, after there was an onslaught of like, so show us the timeline. Like, well, what about this and what about that? And she got really frustrated and she shared this video. Now I'm just gonna be messy because I didn't like how she talked to me in that last video. Should I do this? No, you know what? Never mind. Never mind. So she had a moment where she wigged out and she went off on everybody. And I am actually taking pleasure in this because I don't want to be offended by what she's saying. I'm actually bothered by her presentation because she's being defensive, and that's not the best way for you to approach anyone when you want to share information. She's offending everybody left and right. You have no choice but to agree with her or you're stupid. And that's not a way for you to influence anybody, right? At least we understand that. But we look past that. We know that Deerica is not a spokesperson and she probably didn't even have her uncle's blessing to do this. I think she admits that in video 2 or 3. So I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt. But the beauty of this is that she actually cares about her family member and she wants the truth to be out there, her version of the truth. One thing she is sharing is a bit of a timeline. And when I hope that she saw what I wrote and she doesn't find that to be irritating. But I said, you're providing one thing that people don't have because a lot of people fell into the chat like, wait, there's this girl here. She's a cutie pie. She was married. She's got this young family. She had something that seemed to be what people wanted. It seemed like a lifestyle that people would flock to. So I get why she had an audience, and then find out that you got with the wrong guy, and now you and your children are suffering. And if you're twice her age, like the rest, like some of us in here, because there's some aunties that are paying attention, and we're like, ooh, like, yeah, see, that's kind of why you don't make decisions like that, but go off, right? So there's some of us that just kind of want to say, oh, baby, yeah, that was dumb, but you got to let your kids live a little bit, because you have to learn how to make decisions, and you just hope that you don't make a decision like this where there'll be long-term effects from a bad decision made. However, the more I hear the story, I'm like, well, what's the timeline? Like, is he there at the house? Like, so this video was created when? And when people start telling stories from the middle, I automatically have a problem. You just dropped me right into the middle. I was bathing my child. It wasn't last November on a Tuesday afternoon when my it was none of that. It was for someone that, let's say she's a full-time creator, for someone who spends a lot of detail, a lot of time in presenting herself and her messaging. You don't think that she would sit here and give us the exact day, time, season at least? Especially for those of you that follow her, when was the last time she posted a nice video, a good video? I haven't looked, so I wouldn't know. I don't plan on looking because I don't want to be that deep. But my thoughts are that her audience was surprised by this. And what Deerica offered us was simply a timeline, that there has been a back and forth, and that somehow it started over these allegations of abuse. The child said something happened to her, and it seems like it went a couple different ways. That's one timeline. Another timeline is we have a divorce, or we have a situation where they may have been separated or talking about divorce. Some sort of dissension happened in the relationship, and they decided to end it per him filing, which is what his niece said. So how does that all factor in? And I did share this video on my TikTok, and I'll share a little part of it here. So listen, I worked in group homes when I was like a teenager, right? In college. And so I worked in group homes with little boys. And there were some young children who were brought to the group home because they were abused, but those children were also abusers as well. And so my fear with the little kids was that they would be abused by some of the younger children that didn't know any different. They didn't know any better. I'm not talking about the 14, 15, the older kids. We're talking like 9-year-old, 10-year-old kids, 8-year-old kids who were victims of abuse, also taken from their homes because they had started to abuse other children, which, I mean, in a group home situation, when you only have a few people on staff and the kids usually stay in bunk beds in the same room, a lot of this happens, right? I don't think that's a surprise. So my thing was always trying to keep the little ones safe. That was my personal thing. There are times where children are left in the custody of their own parents. Another scenario. One of my girlfriends had a blended family situation with her husband, right? Her husband had been married before to another woman, and she had already had a child in the relationship. That child was abused by somebody, then he starts to abuse his half siblings. My girlfriend then, I guess somehow, some way it came out. I think the babies they were little babies too. The babies were red and everything, and so they were like, we have to do something with these kids because the kids can't stay in this environment. And their older brother, I think, was like 10, like 9 or 10, and he was on the spectrum as well. So even though he was a big boy, he still wasn't all the way there. They left that child in his mother's care, but then my friend's husband was able to take the children. So for a while, she had all her kids, his kids, everything. And so she would tell us about that stuff. This is the part of the story that's crazy for me. There was a point where her husband was still being friendly with his baby mom, and he would bring the children back over there, and they would be around their older sibling. And I'm thinking, like, I mean, it's very noble of you to take your children out of that environment and make sure that they're safe with your new wife in a situation where they don't have to worry about it. But then he started kind of going back and forth, still messing around with the ex, still messing around with the ex, who knew that her children were being abused by her older child. And I'm thinking, like, how could a man even, how could you even see a woman as being attractive when you know that it was just a crazy situation, right? Now, I'm hoping that this isn't that messy, but that woman was trying to cover up that her own child was abusing her babies. And in some cases, when you have a child in the household that is abusing other children, they don't remove them. Now, these things are not necessarily solved overnight, especially when you have a 2 or 3 year old child. They can be easily coaxed into saying, say daddy did it, say so and so did it. It will take a psychologist, I think it's like a forensic psychologist or a very specialized child psychologist, to meet with the child and talk to the child to see if the child is being coached. So we don't know if of course we don't know. She don't. Well, I'm assuming she don't know, but she probably know. But as it stands, if her husband is not locked up, it's because they don't know for sure if he committed this particular crime against the little girl. And if the little girl is saying, my brother, my daddy, whomever, they have to get to the bottom of that. And they will. Trust me, the Child Protective Services in like California would be the agency to figure that out. And LAPD would just sit on the sideline and wait to see what they would say. Now, it doesn't go to regular family court in this case. These kind of cases go to what's called children's court. And children's court are the courts where, unfortunately, people lose the rights to their children. Like, this is a whole completely different issue. And I'm only speaking on what I know here in California. It could be something completely different. But CPS pretty much runs this court. So CPS is going to look, that's Child Protective Services. If it's different where you are, then bear with me. And they're going to do basically, they're going to look at you over a period of time. They're going to meet with your child. They're going to go to that baby's school, go to the daycare, come to your house, and they're basically going to see if what the environments are like. They're going to ask questions and they're going to meet with your child to see if your child is telling the truth. It's obvious something has happened because they said that there's physical evidence, but they will get to the bottom of this. And let's just say hypothetically, her son is involved and she's covering up. She could potentially lose custody of all of her children, all of them. Not only custody, she could lose the parental rights of her children for doing this. Like, the stakes are very, very high. Not knowing where they are, I can't really speak to that. But on the flip side of this, right, he could also lose custody, visitation, and or rights, and his freedom as well. So this isn't anything to play with. And I'm from the hood, okay? These are games that people play all the time. And I'm telling you, like, from the hood, like welfare fraud, calling welfare on people, saying, they making money this way, that way, saying that there's someone's doing something to their kids. So CPS and stuff, like, they're in a lot of impoverished areas because a lot of people use these tactics and ways to get at people and to take children away. So I'm saying this to say that I don't know where Isis is from, but perhaps she grew up in an environment where we just say whatever to get whatever we want, right? And looking at Nisi, it's like there's a different energy going on, even though they're both very beautiful. And you can't judge a book by its cover. I feel like the games that are playing are very low level games. I feel like it's very low brow. And using the internet, both of them are really going to ruin their cases, I think. I don't think that she should have ever been the spokesperson. And I think if we're going, and if she's bold enough to do it, right? She the one that wants to do it. Give her a script. Please give her a script and give her an objective. The only thing I need for you to do is to represent Uncle. It's not time for you to degrade the audience, to make people feel stupid, to yell at people. Because in the video I was gonna share with you, she is yelling, honey. She's like, y'all ain't got to watch. Y'all gotta go find something to do. And it's just so like she wigs out. And I even wrote, I was like, babe, like you don't wigging out is not gonna help your uncle. Like we're just trying to, in a way, people are just trying to give you pointers because people want to hear what you have to say. We just it's just kind of hard the way you throwing darts at everybody. Like I'm ducking and I'm dodging. I'm trying not to sit here and go off on you right now. Not me, but I'm just saying like people are going off in the comments and stuff because they are sensitive. They are asking real questions, and they don't realize that they're asking a question that 10,000 other people probably asked that question. So she's going to get overwhelmed, and people don't realize that we all are more similar than not, so we're going to all ask the same thing when certain information is missing. So with that being said, when I heard like Lovely T, she's an amazing YouTuber, and she's all over the place. She's been doing this for a long time. She had recordings of previous live recordings where ISIS was streaming and the girls are screaming in the background. And you can hear the girl say, ow, ow. And I heard, like, I want to say, I truly heard 4 different streams where the kids are, are doing enough in the background where she had to say something. And so they were pushing this narrative that there are full on videos out there that say this, that while she was recording, the man was doing that to the children. And so everyone's like, well, how could you let that happen? Like there's actual videos that say, listen to her kids being abused. And I think I know one is 2. I can't imagine that the other one is much older. But I have a 4-year-old grandson and I have a 12-year-old son. And I promise you, when they're together, there's a whole bunch of owls. Both of them are owling because they wrestle and they fight and whatever. And I go in there and it's like me, blank is doing this and that to me. And meanwhile, my son is sitting there like, I didn't do anything. So there are times that little rambunctious children do stuff. There are times where I know when I was younger, I used to wrestle and fight and, play rough with my dad and stuff like that, or my siblings, especially when you got brothers. I have 5 brothers. So it's like that stuff happens. I am not saying that anything that all this is alleged. Don't do that. Don't do that. I am just giving you another perspective. It's all about how information is shared. Okay? Just saying. That side, she needs to do a better job in providing what she considers to be facts to support her side. Even though Nisi Poo is all over the place, I honestly think that she has planted a seed of doubt in a lot of people's minds. I think so. I think it's enough in the court of public opinion because that's where they brought it. So we all got our gavels. All of us, right? More like this, more like phones, look, more like that, right? I feel like we're like, I don't know. I'm not sure. So at this point, it'll be interesting to see what ISIS says. But I think that she's trying to get an attorney. I think that's what this is all about. Cause like, babe, listen, content creators are not rich, but you have 60,000 subscribers on YouTube. You have active channels. You mean to tell me you don't make at least enough to pay for an apartment? Listen, like creator to creator, I don't even have that much, but I would be able, if I wanted, I would be able to be okay for a little smidge, just a smidge. So you mean to tell me that you weren't saving your checks, that you don't have that coming in? I don't really understand why we go straight to food stamps. Of course, having that additional money, if you got 4 or 5 kids, comes in. So you might have that welfare money is probably a nice cushion, right? You know, the apartment down payments and things of that nature, whatever is going on, like that's money too. I understand that. But I think the GoFundMe is for an attorney. I think that's what it's for. I think she got it right. Curious to see what your guys are to read your guys' feedback. This has been on the trophy wife's husband's niece, Deerica, and I will leave her TikTok so that you guys can go and see that for yourselves. And Deerica, I appreciate you allowing me to share your content. I know I didn't ask, but just look at it as me amplifying the message on behalf of your family. My hope is that the children will be okay. Hopefully, the children end up in a place where they are going to be safe, and that let the focus of this whole thing really be on the children and not one side versus another, because the kids have to live with what happened, and they need somebody to care for them, because at the end of the day someone's going to be removed from their life. Someone will be removed. Like this level of gameplay will not be tolerated. And now that it has become everybody's business, it's not for play anymore. Like you guys are not just going to walk away and everyone's going to excuse this. And Miss Lady, the trophy wife, your career is also at stake as well, because your credibility is on the line. And that's the whole point of this. Like, why did we need to know? Because you wanted to raise money? Because you were looking for advice? This is a private matter, and I'm not really sure if that should be our business. But with that being said, go pick up my kid from school, and y'all have yourselves a good night.